guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, it's your boy Cobe Rising. It's coming for you, coming for you, It's coming for you, coming for you, Oh Lord, do not forget the gorillas. Everyone know we the realest, a bunch of go-getters. I bet you can tell I'm the illest. You don't need your fingers to fill it. You know I can straight spit, knock you out with a lady hit. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neo, but this is the real life, not the Matrix. I'm about to go ape shit. Ain't no gotta roll out. I know gotta roll out, yeah. Oh yeah, baby, let's roll it.
Let's go.
Baby, let's light it.
Let's go.
Get high. Oh yeah. Better with some drop, yeah. Seat high, yeah.
I love this
that
right
up
here.
that top, yes.
I love this. I love this. I love this. What's going on, man? It's your boy Cobe. Rise and rise, you dig? We bike at it again. Shout out to my man Ernest, big dog. Everything is going blessed, my brother. I hope everything is well with you. And we getting it kicked off. We kicking it off. Matter of fact, let me put you on hold real quick. We're about to get the show started.
Talking about what we doing. Come back into the bedroom, show you what a real nigga do with you. Yeah. And she doing what I do when she doing what I mean. Looking at and you looking in between. Love the way she looking them jeans, yeah. Love the way she driving, yeah. Love the way she popping, yeah. Love the way she calling it.
We bike at it again. It's your boy Cobe Rise and Rise, man. How y'all doing? Hey, man, talk to me, y'all. Indeed. Yes, sir. Hey, man, what's going on? What's going on, Charmaine? Look, we got the IG family in the building. Everybody tapping in on the IG. Make sure you guys go follow me at King Alajuwan 21. It's scrolling there at the bottom. YouTube, Rise and Rise Academy. Facebook, Rise and Rise Academy. You know we're not going to stop. We doing this thing, and we're going to always keep it going. I'm glad you well, my brother. I'm glad you well. Listen, today's topic is going to be super important. All right? Super important. Why? Because we are, of course, talking about the recap of what we did last week. Last week was an amazing show. And for y'all that missed that show, man, make sure you guys go back and watch that. We talked about how most Americans are overweight, and a third of that is actually obese. All right. And we talked about the different diets that you can do to help out. Tons and tons of information about actually how to get in shape. The problem is not the lack of knowledge, because of the information is out there. The problem is a lack of execution, right? And of course, last week was Martin Luther King's birthday. So it was an amazing show transition to talk about how Martin Luther King had a dream. And your boy Cobe Rise and Rise has the execution. You dig what I'm saying? So check this out. Last week we talked about what actually happens when you eat food and it enters the body. Well, guess what? Well, we got to get on to the next part. So if you understand what food does to your body, um, what is the not alternative, excuse me. What do we do as far as solution? Well, we're not going to get into food today. We've done so many shows on food, and we're always going to touch on food every single time. All right. And shout out to my man Ernest, man, because he actually sent me this video about someone speaking about, the importance of exercise. All right. So I think we all kind of know about exercise. Why? Because we talked about that really on our last week's show. We spoke about what exactly do you need to do, right? So the recommendation is to make sure that you are 50% to 60% of your resting heart rate. All right. So you want to get in your target heart rate. And of course, like I said, they talk about the bare minimum. The bare minimum is 50%. Um, so again, the math of that, if you're 50 years old, you have to subtract 220 from your age. So if you're 50, that would 220 minus 50 equals 170. That's your maximum heart rate, right? So you take that maximum heart rate and subtract 70 from it. Again, because why? 70 is the actual resting heart rate. So whatever your resting heart rate is, but the average, resting heart rate is 70. If you're a little younger, then it's probably going to be a little lower. All right. What's going on, Cuzzo? Man, listen, we're talking about exercise today, y'all. So yeah, so when you subtract 170 from 70 equals 100. So you multiply 100 times the percentage of intensity, right? So the bare minimum is 50 to 60%. So let's just say if you're going the bare minimum, which is 50%, 100 times 50% plus 70, which because you have to add the resting heart rate, is 120. And that target heart rate is what you want to do to equal moderate to intensity, moderate intense workout. And you want it to do that for at least 30 minutes a day. If you're doing it 5 times a day, that's going to be your recommended dosage. And again, that's at the bare minimum of movement, right? So again, that's what we talked about last week. But now I'm just going to show you a quick video real quick on what the today's discussion is going to be like. All right. So just stay tuned in real quick. I'll play it and let me know what you guys think about this particular video. And let me know, let me know if you can hear the video. And I think we're going to go ahead and play that right now.
If a woman is obese, but she exercises every day, she will outlive the normal weight woman who doesn't exercise. If a man smokes and he has high blood cholesterol, has high hypertension, but he exercises, he will outlive the man who doesn't have any of those problems who doesn't exercise. If you don't exercise, you're going to die sooner. For every hour you exercise, you will live 3 hours longer. It's the Harvard alumni study.
I want to get up right now.
Sorry about that, y'all. So anyway, what I was pretty much saying was the video talked about the guy. Well, let me break this down. So what the guy was actually saying was, even if you're overweight or smoke cigarettes or whatever, if you exercise, then technically you will have a longer life expectancy. So we're just gonna break this down. I'm gonna see if I can bring my guy in on my IG live real quick. I think he had a question for me. Let me see what's going on. What's going on, Boston? I try to invite you in, but I don't think it got in. So try to get in or try to send it to me one more time. Yeah, try to send it to me one more time. All right. So, like I was saying, I think you guys can hear me now, right? Okay, cool. So, what he was talking about, and I want to break this down because he spoke about smoking cigarettes and things like that and when you exercise, you'll have a longer life expectancy. Okay, that what he's saying is if you exercise, long story short, you will have an increased life expectancy. He wasn't actually saying go smoke cigarettes and work out and think you're going to be healthier. And I think that's what he was saying, but let's add some clarity to it. If you don't work out versus someone who works out, regardless of what they do, yes, you're going to have a longer life expectancy. And what he's saying is that's the importance of it. And that's exactly how you want to increase your life expectancy, and how to do that is exercise. It's so important that even if you did smoke, you're going to have a longer life expectancy. All right. So I wanted just to kind of start off with the video, but also wanted to kind of give you some more clarity behind what's going on. Now, I just finished up a leg workout. You know, I feel every bit of it. I'm eating my chickpeas for my protein. I have my, protein shake added for extra calories. And of course, I'm doing my raw fruits and raw veggie diet. So as you guys can see, I'm eating some raw zucchini. It's not cooked. And so what this does is helps me, get all of the inflammation out of my body. All right. I work out 5 to 6 days a week. I feel great. And I'm doing this diet and I feel really, really good. But I also want to include only 28% of Americans are actually meeting this physical activity guidelines. And this is, again, according to the CDC prevention. All right. So it's not just me. This is actual stats. So if 1 out of 3 Americans are obese, and if the guy is saying what is true, which is exercise is that much helpful, then based on numbers, we can confidently say we're not exercising like we need to. We're not exercising like we need to. Ernest says, unless you choose to make some everyday changes on your behalf, you can never become a better. That's right. So you have to make the right choices right now. Can't hear you. Okay, we good to go. What's going on, JG? All right. So right now, fit and overweight. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little run through. And I want to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm referring to here. So just so you know, I'm not making this up. Here we go. Now, at the bottom, it says, in a similar picture emerged, which is evidence in 2008, after Harvard-affiliated researchers examined 39,000 women with an average age of 54, next to the active women of normal weight, the active but overweight were 54% more likely to develop heart disease, while the active but obese were in an 87% greater danger. Even high quantities of physical activity are unlikely to fully reverse the risk of coronary heart disease in overweight and obese women without concurrent weight loss. All right. So what it's referring to is even if you're working out, if you're still obese, you're still at risk. So I wanted to give that clarity because you do not want to stay overweight or stay obese, especially if you're a woman, if you're going to work out, because you're still 54% more at risk for organs and heart failure. All right. So can you be fit and overweight? Can you? I think that's a little subjective. Think about the average NFL football player. A lot of those guys are way heavier for their BMI, but it's mostly muscle. It is mostly muscle. So having more muscle than fat, technically you're going to burn more calories and you're going to see a greater return of health. And this is where you want to see the dynamic. If you want to be high in weight with calories, you want to shift the narrative. What's going on, D? You want to shift the narrative to point that you are more healthy with more muscle. So if you want to be overweight, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Okay. The healthier way to do that is to have more muscle than fat. There is a fat percentage scale or a fat to muscle scale you can take so you can see where you actually are. All right. You can see where you actually are. Excuse me. So again, we have to really define what this word fit really means. Okay. Because what they're saying, you want to make sure you give purpose. And I'm just reading this real quick from Google here. All right. is to be right size and shape. That's what fit is, or fit something into a specific place. So when it comes to uh, the verb of action of being fit, yeah, you want to have the right size and shape and good health, especially of regular physical exercise. There we go. So if you want to be fit, then yes, you have to be fit for the size and shape, as well as physical exercise. What did we just discuss on physical exercise? Well, replay back from last week where you have to have at least 30 minutes a day of moderate to intense workout, and a target heart rate of 120 if you're 50 years old. We did the math earlier in the beginning of the broadcast, so you know where you need to be at. So that doesn't mean go to the gym for 30 minutes and just walk. You want to make sure that you're getting your heart rate up to your target heart rate. And again, the bare minimum was 50%. My recommendation, you probably want to get up to around that 60, 70%, maybe even sometimes 80, so you can get the most out of it. Why? Because research also shows the more you work out, meaning lifting weights and the more vigorous workouts, you now lower your risk by a greater percentage. And that's according to Harvard Health. So lifting weights also adds more to your life expectancy. So lifting weights, vigorous workouts, along with the moderate workouts on a weekly basis, yeah, this is how you want to do it. This is how you want to do it, and this is going to help you extend your life expectancy. So it's not just going to get you to the bare minimum, because again, this is what they're going to recommend, the bare minimum. I'm going to say you have to do more, because obviously we can see the bare minimum is not necessarily working because most of us are obese or overweight. So here's my take now. Now that we've gotten all the facts and everything out the way, subjectively, fit and overweight, I think is very subjective. I don't recommend it. Now, to live longer, here's the keynote. To live longer, you have to drop to a normal BMI, which is going to be below the 20 marker. So around the 21 and lower, yeah, but there's a range for that to be normal. So that's a normal BMI, and that's based on your height and your weight. All right. So yes, weight is important because you want to be below that 23 threshold. So if you're around the 20 BMI, you're good. Now, what they forget to show is what people want to look like. So when they actually do work out, they actually want to look their best. What's going on, Trinity? They want to actually look their best. So if they want to look their best, what does that look like? Looking your best is to have more muscle than fat. That's how you want to look. Or you want to have a nice composition or aesthetics. Nice aesthetics. I don't know if you guys remember that show where I actually showed track runners, sprinter bodies, swimmer bodies. Those are some of the most appealing body types. So look at this one right here. So you can see trim, slim, and decently in shape. Now I'm going to show you on the women's side. As women, these are sprinters. So they have shredded, nice fit core, strong legs, and then the same thing for the men. So the men to the right of it, you'll see more muscular stature, but again, that's more of a sprinter body. To the left of it, that's more of a long distance body. So strong legs still, but a little bit more on the leaner side for long distance runners. Again, these are just some ideal types that have been rated that's more appealing. So that's what people want to look like when they work out. So to do that, what's going on, KT? So to do that, what you want to do is, again, you want to mix it up a little bit. 30 minutes of moderate workouts, that's the bare minimum. I say take it up a notch. Add in vigorous workouts, which is high intensity. So that's closer to that maximum heart rate. Not necessarily add it, but just, in that close range for at least between 15 to 20 minutes a day. All right. But you want to add strength training on top of that, because this is what's going to help you build muscle, and building muscle automatically lowers your fat percentage. Why? Because this is what's going to help you look shredded. It's going to help you look shredded. So when you look more shredded, this now is going to boost your confidence. Number one. Number two, Now you actually lower your risk threefold. I'm gonna give you an example. You get your BMI straight, which is the right weight for your height. Number one, you already are now more than average, according to the statistics. Now, number two, you lower it again by doing the moderate to intense workout for your heart. Now, it's more beneficial to do vigorous workouts because you add more heart ventricle reserves as you get older. So if you ever were to sit yourself down as you get older, you're more than likely to have a less risk of heart issues or any of those type of issues in the organ when you do these vigorous type of workouts. So my thing is you want to mix and do a little bit of both. You definitely want to do some vigorous workouts, but you also want to do your moderate workouts. I personally take a rest day as a moderate workout. You dig? So you want to make sure you're doing things like that daily, like walking 10,000 steps. You know, these are just basic small stuff that people should be doing anyway, but we can tell they're not doing that. So do that. So moderate workouts every single day for 30 minutes. That could be a walk for 2 miles, you know, just basic things, biking. That's normal. That's normal stuff. That's not even a workout for me. So it shouldn't be for you. Then the workouts are actually the vigorous workouts. So that's your vigorous high intensity, and you want to add the weights to it. That's going to help you lower your risk again for bone issues, because again, when you lift weights, you increase your bone mass. So when you get older, you'll have a less likely chance of brittle bones. And all of these things incorporate into extending your life expectancy. And not only that, you lower your percentage of risk of dying. Yes. So again, this is coming from stats. And I also gave you my take on it and what I should do. If you guys are a part, and I know some of my people, some of my gang from the 75-day challenge, if y'all in the chat, let them know what's going on. So for the ones in the 75-day challenge, we already have our numbers so we can hit our goals weekly. And so that's what's going to help us get to our goals. We know how much intensity to use in order for you to work out every day to get you to your goals and keep it consistent. As long as you keep it consistent, that's going to be your biggest key. That's going to get you out of this obese, overweight range. What's going on, gang? I know you tuned in. We locked in. What's going on, IG? My IG family, man, we turn up. My IG family turns up. You dig? All right. So, recap. We started with 28% of Americans are meeting the physical activity guidelines set by the CDC. At the same time, 1 out of 3 Americans are overweight, and a third of that is obese. That's ridiculous. And it tells us that most of us are not physically in the active guidelines like we should be, which means we are more sedentary, which is actually lowering our life expectancy. So the things that we talked about was to do moderate workouts for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. I say add the vigorous workouts on top of that as well. You also want to be strength training for at least 3 days a week. And again, that's with progressive overload. And these are what's going to help you get out of that low life expectancy, but also get you out of that obese and overweight range. All right. So this is from an exercise standpoint. The video already talked about the biggest thing is, even if you do smoke, if you work out as well, you have a longer life expectancy, because it tells you the benefit of working out is that strong. Shout out to Ernest. He says, facts, because if you don't exercise, you can not only suffer a heart-related disease, you can die from it. That's right. You're exactly right. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in and being in a deep dive, because again, we're now giving you guys the real deal. So the biggest thing now, everybody talks about food, this, food, that, food, that's, food, that. Food's important, but you're forgetting one of the most important aspects of it, and things that you want to keep consistent that we don't really speak of a lot. You got to move your body. You have to move your body. I promise you. When you start getting sedentary, more issues start to happen. I promise you. The less you move, that's what your body is fixing to do, not move at all. So in order for you to really move in motion, you got to move. Just like I'm telling you, man, listen, if you guys can move your body, keep it consistent, that's going to be your biggest goal. If you haven't tapped in with me already, go ahead and tap in because I'm already working people. We have so many people getting to their gains. Everybody's getting to their goals this year, and we're not playing with them. Because again, with so many people that have New Year's resolutions and they don't get to them because they're not consistent. They go to the gym and then they fall off. They go to the gym and they fall off, and it's always that downhill spiral every single time. And guess what? We're not going to let that back us down. Because why? We have the execution. We have the plan, we have the execution, and we're going to keep it consistent. And guess what? Cobe going to keep you accountable. We got a whole group keeping us accountable. And if you ain't tapped in with me yet, man, you got to tap in with me. You got to definitely tap in with me. Ernest says, but you do always speak the truth, and I applaud you for it. I appreciate that, bro. Listen, somebody got to speak the truth. Somebody has to speak the truth, and it's going to be me. I'm going to do that. Shout out to my IG family, man. Y'all stay locked in with me. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to my cousin. You know, what's going on, Boston? You dig what I'm saying? What's going on with you, Charmaine? Listen, we got a lot of people that's really trying to get to the goal and really try to understand what's going on. So tap in with me. Again, my IG is King Alajuwan 21 at the bottom. You guys can reach me on Facebook at Rise and Rise Academy. You dig what I'm saying? You can also reach me on YouTube at Rise and Rise Academy. All right, man. We're going to get up out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all for hopping in, joining in with me, and rocking out with your boy. It's your boy, Cobe Rise and Rise. When we face with an obstacle, what we do, we rise and rise, baby.
Jeans, yeah.